What's up, everybody? This is another segment of Tell It How It Is, No Filter, starring yours truly, Voice of Reason, peep that, aka Hush, aka How You Stop Him, aka Unstoppable Hush. And this is episode 146. What's going on? What's up? Glad to be here. You know, a part of doing this lets me know I woke up, I'm in good health. Let's do this. That's the motivation to get to sit down and talk my shit. Where do I begin? Okay, the verses. Last verses is Bone Thugs versus 3-6 Mafia. Not a personal favorite of mine. And that's before it even went down. So it's not like it went down and that changed my decision. Bone Thugs has their hits that I love. Is this typical? The Biggie, even the Pop joint that everybody may not be as familiar with. And then Crossroads. You know, they got their shit. And the fans that love them, they've pleased them. You know, shout out to all of that. That's not to take away credit. You know what I mean? So kudos for that. 3-6 Mafia, I really can't even remember. Damn, you know, if you judge me, I don't know, because of my age, I don't know. They was out for my age, though, so I can't even use age. My apologies, I can't use that. I can't really remember, though. So I know that there's a factor, and, you know, without me even having to watch this back, which I watch all my segments after, by the way. Soon as I'm done, I'm probably going to look into what songs drew me to them, because they gotta have a song or two for me. But again, for their fans, as well as the Bone Thugs scenario, shout out for that. So for those fans, they hope they enjoyed that. But I want to mention that it got a little dicey, and you know, whatever. That's the image that's looked upon when it comes to hip hop. So Busy said some shit. You can't invite Juicy J, invited him to his sausage. You know how that could go. So the bottle of water flew and, you know, got a little crazy for a second. You know, Busy later on, you know, probably apologizes, but then he goes as a part of hip hop. And I have to really like challenge that a little bit, because the Locks and Dipset showed us similar without it getting crazy. They was talking reckless amongst each other, back and forth, along with the performances. So that was hip hop. You feel me? No disrespect to Busy Bone. You know, again, however I feel about them is how I feel. I can't be influenced otherwise. So that was dope as far as that goes. But to compare it to that's how hip hop is, no, the Locks and Dipset showed us that it can get intense, it can get real without actual violence. You know what I'm saying? And you know they're ready like count us out and expect us to be portrayed as the baddest influence, like there's not horror movies, violent murder movies. You know what I'm saying? So that's a whole nother thing I don't even want to get into right now. It already got me heated up. So no doubt for that. Styles P and Havoc, Wreckage Manner. This is their project. I haven't checked it out yet. I've been excited to check it out. I want to give a shout out to Havoc for sure. Styles P is always working. He don't need no more love from me. I give him all the love. And I'm not trying to be funny. Styles P is always working. You know what I'm saying? He's been pretty sharp for a while. Havoc has been quiet. Rest in peace. Sleep in peace to Prodigy. I'm sure that has something to do with it. And it's okay. It's humanly okay for that to be the reason or play a role in why we haven't heard Havoc. But I'm excited because his production is crazy and the boy got bars. Grown man, actually, you know what I'm saying? But you get where I'm going with this. So I'm dying to hear it. You should check it out. Once again, it's called Wreckage Manner. Am I saying it right? Yeah. You know Google. Y'all got y'all smartphones. Once you type in Styles P and Havoc, it's going to show you what type of time it is. But again, shout to Prodigy, rest in peace. Big loss in hip hop, big loss. I was, you know, rocking to him the other day. You know, him and what Havoc has done for hip hop is undeniably real iconic. You know what I'm saying? So that's dope. The Kevin Hart True Story. with Wesley Snipes. I've mentioned it before, but I want to go on record now that I've checked it out. It's dope. I have never taken Kevin Hart that seriously in these type of situations, anything other than comedy, but I gotta say, it was dope. It was dope. Absolutely. Shout out. Excuse me. Woo. Not COVID. Not COVID. I'm not starting over for that sneeze. Wesley Snipes. That was dope addition to that, and check it out, man. I think it was pretty good, man. Ooh, I don't know. How many sneezes before I have to start over? Can I get a limit here? Like 5? The movie Bruised, Halle Berry. Again, my opinions don't have to match yours. I feel like the message in the movie was inspirational as fuck, and that's what we need in life. You know what I'm saying? Something motivating, something that shows the human side of struggle, the human side of just dealing with shit. You know what I mean? That people just have no clue sometimes when they got it good. You know, when they're fortunate to not have really gone through this thing called struggle. You know what I'm saying? So I salute it definitely, and it's dope. It's dope. That message is big. So check out Halle Berry Bruised. Definitely a watch for me. May not get no Grammys or no real recognition, because again, the world don't want to see that. The world want to see the fabricated, everybody rich and no struggle type shit. Not everybody, but sometimes I feel like we scared of reality. You know, reality is very fearsome. Let's shout to that. Alex Baldwin, you know, the accident on the set of Rust. I apologize for not remembering the young lady's name. I did a pod already on it. You know, wishing her blessings, her family condolences. I mean, and the sleep in peace and all of that. I gave my kudos for that. So I'm just bringing it back because now there's an interview where he's saying he didn't shoot the gun or he didn't aim it at her. I don't know why we want to revisit here and make things complicated, because that can throw people off, especially the families. So what really went down then? I mean, I know investigations and you know, when you dealing with a situation that you have to unpack, that there's information that will keep coming, and there's many angles of how shit went and how it looks. And I know they got to do this as a part of their job, but the interview wise for him, I don't know. You know, I'm not gonna act like I've been in these shoes before. I hope to never be in those shoes, but because if I kill a motherfucker, it's for a reason. If I want to, I'm not saying I will. Never. No. Don't take me wrong. I'm just talking about in this accident setting. Like, I don't want to accidentally kill somebody. You feel me? So don't take me literal, folks. This is a real times in life where everything is sensitive. But I'm gonna say what I feel anyway. Yeah, like if that's the shit and that's how it went down, it's like I'm really not gonna take back, you know, what was done or in any type of verbal way. Like, that's what you told police. You feel me? Like, you know, when you got interviewed initially, is that the story you gave police? Because whatever's on paper as your statement, I mean, that's what you should basically stick to. And I'm not saying that they differ. Maybe he did tell the police that, but I don't know. You know, I'm not getting into the whole cop thing, because, you know, I have my gripes about that in certain situations and scenarios. You know how we look at the police. But what I'm saying is, I don't think that would fly with a normal person. Like, you gonna tell the police that you ain't aim it, you ain't shoot it, like it shot itself, it hit the ground. What are you giving as your statement? And, you know, if that's what he gave them and it flew, you know, they let it fly, and then that's what he want to say in the interview, then fine, you know, fuck it. Might as well stick to the same story so they don't come back and look at you like, well, that's not what you told us. But there's so many scenarios we can look at and take from this. I'm just saying, rest in peace to the young lady again. And I hope Alec Baldwin could, like, let go of the demons and move on. Accident, you know, whether you did it or you didn't, you know, as long as you confess your sins and you apologetic for it, and you really are genuine in the pain and understanding the pain of the family, then that's good enough. You know what I'm saying? It's not for us to judge, really. It's not for us to decide when he should be forgiven, if he's forgiven. You know, and I'm not even a super religious person. I'm just saying that sometimes we think we're in control and what we say and think matters the most, and it's really not up to us. Every individual is a percentage in this life. You know what I'm saying? You don't really hold the weight you think you do. And you think money changes that? It really doesn't. Like, we feed into that bullshit. You know, the person with the most money, their percentage and them mattering in life is the same as the person with $2. As far as like overall, if there's a higher being and if you believe in a higher being and in this whole earthly thing. I'm not talking about economically. I'm not talking about social media. These are things where people are viewed way different from actual life. So anyway, I ain't want to get that deep on that. So again, that's that with that. Tiana Taylor, I love her. I don't I'm Pat I'm trying to tread lightly, but you can't do that. You got to just speak your fucking mind. So I don't like the baggy fit. You feel me? Like, you know, the Aaliyah days when Aaliyah was wearing super baggy shit. Even then, I kind of was like, I love Aaliyah. Rest in peace, love her. But back then, I was still like a little about it, but I let it fly. Today, my women, y'all are beautiful. I don't like to see the super baggy fit. I'm sorry. It's not about, making women feel like they gotta be naked, especially in modeling and fashion. Shout out to all my fashion designers. Shout out to all my people with clothing lines and all of that. Straight up salute to you. But I don't want the baggy. They don't gotta be naked. Can it fit a little better, please? It don't even gotta be skin tight. I'm over the super baggy. So Tiana Taylor, I love you, but I don't like it. I don't like it. And that's for everybody. That's not just her. I'm just saying, just kind of, But anyway, dope for her and whatever she's got going on. I still ain't check out the Harder They Fall. I'm not gonna mention it again. I spoke on it already. I guess I could go in. So listen, learning to not stress stuff to the max no matter how bad things get still comes with a catch. Like, there's some things that you have to care about. You can't get that reckless because some things will accumulate that you do have to take care of. So it's not really about, and that was my initial topic, about not caring and letting things stress you out, but there's actually has to be a balance. So I even correct myself as I go because, for example, before that, I had a joke about this paycheck to paycheck. You heard that, people who live paycheck to paycheck. So if on the day you get paid, you have $20 left, are you living paycheck to paycheck? Absolutely. I brag to myself because I've been there. Nobody's exempt from this in their life unless you were just born rich. I joked. It was a time where, payday was there and I still had $20. You know what I'm saying? $20 when I'm at work, that may not seem like nothing, but on payday, I was a little proud because, at that time, because I ain't had to touch my check. Like, that 20 helped me for that day. I wasn't doing too much, I worked and I was that. I wasn't going out. And that's the thing with life. So it's like, so now if let's say you get paid on a Wednesday and Friday the week before is when you run out. Yeah, you live in paycheck to paycheck. And then you had choices though, because that Friday you want to turn up and that's the reason you ran out of bread. You could have still been all right. But don't feel so down about it if you're paycheck to paycheck. A lot of people are not going to keep it a stack. You see, I came on here and even said I've been there, It's for you to overcome. It's for you to say, what can I do? And every pay cycle, you're supposed to be making an attempt at getting closer to not letting that be your fate. It's not easy. It's not going to happen in one cycle. You feel me? But as long as you're aware of this and you're trying to come up with ways to not let that be your story. But it's difficult. So, for my people who are in that scenario, what are you doing to get out of it? I need comments. I need replies. other than that, people who aren't in this scenario, were you just always rich, always well off, or you were once there and now you're not? So then tell us, comments, please. How did you get up out of that? Let's start example number 1. The biggest example: when you get paid, the first most important thing to take care of is rent or mortgage. Especially if that is that time of month. I don't know where we at in the cycles of people's pay. You may be where you already handled that, so this check is not that. But I'm going to just be on that to keep it simple. Let's say this is the time to pay rent and or mortgage. Handle that. That alone may take you where you're like, this is how I know I'm not going to survive to the next check. It's easier said than done. Everybody wants to say live within your means. A lot of things go down where it's like, I'm trying, especially New York is the toughest. I've spoke on these subjects before. I'm not going to really stay the same place because I want to attack this from a different angle. So let's move on. Rent. What's after rent? I guess utilities. Food. These are some things that you just can't get around. So it's not like when I say don't stress things to the max, these are things you may have to stress to the max. Your roof over your head, eating, that can be altered somewhat. You can alter that eating thing. Utilities, you got to keep the lights on. You got to keep gas on, water on, etc. Cell phone bills, and this is where we get to the kind of dicey cell phone, your internet, you need that, cable, Wi-Fi, whatever. These are the general things right here. So you handle those accordingly, but like I said, the top of the charts is definitely rent or mortgage and food and your utilities. I would think that those are the most important things. So can you get around those? Not really, but if you can finagle somehow, no doubt. So what not to stress? Okay. I'll give some examples. Credit cards. I mean, you chose to fuck with it. So now you gotta live with that. But, I wouldn't stress that to the max. The whole credit score thing definitely is something that people should be concerned about, and it does get affected by things of these sorts. So I'm just gonna keep it gangster, and he may call it a little reckless. Credit cards, it is what it is. You pay what you can when you can. The more gangster thing I could say is IRS. Yeah, they're gonna take what they owe. What's owed to them, I should say. Federal and state is a big difference. They talk with each other, interact. Especially state will hit up federal. So watch out for that. Again, you do what you can do though. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they're gonna come and garnish eventually if you really reckless or if you not care at all and listen to me literally. They will come. And hopefully you can handle that adjustment. Material things that you may want. Yo, there's no age limit on this. Some people, there's a justified reason for all scenarios. Like the younger folks, 20s, 30s, you may want more shit that you really don't need. And it's because you're younger, you just want some shit. Or, you may feel like, don't judge me because of my age. I work hard. Why I can't get certain stuff. Got it. When you older, you may have grinded all your life, 20s, 30s, and was never able to get no real shit you wanted. But now you're 40 plus and you're like, I don't care. I worked all this time. I want this. I'm jumping out the window to get this. Let me tell you the good and bad in that. The good in it is you think it gives you satisfaction for a time. That time is calculated. The bad thing is you just set yourself back probably. Are you motivated enough that although it's a setback, you wanted it that bad that you're just going to work 10 times harder to get rid of that debt because you jumped the gun. or jumped out the window, whatever, however you want to word that. So, that's when you really got to decide on that, and that's not easy. I think I'm kind of jumping away a little bit from the not caring at all. It's not stressing things. I mean, something like that should not be priority right now, especially on the paycheck to paycheck aspect. If that's what you're doing, whatever you want material in life could wait. You could eventually get to it. This is easier said than done. I am human. Of course, there's things I want right now that that I wish I had the bread. I stop the pod right now and go cop. It's just not, you know what I mean? It's just not feasible. It's not like in the best interest right now. And then of all of these things that I'm telling you, I'm not even including factors that you have, whether you single by yourself, whether you got one kid, whether you got two kids, whether you got four or more, whether you single with kids, whether you're in a relationship with kids, whether it's a family thing, all of these, you should still kind of have the same similar mentality, but some things become more important now. With kids, the food just went up. Like, I already said food was important anyway, but with kids, now you definitely got to handle. That got to be after rent or mortgage. That also plays in the whole material shit. What do you want? You know what I'm saying? That you really fiending for something for a long time, but you got kids. You got to make sure they good. You know what I'm saying? It's about what to be selfish on and where you can't be selfish. You when it comes to kids, when it comes to roof over your head, I've said already, you can't be selfish on that. That stuff gotta be important. Like, you gotta look at that like, I gotta do that. If anything else, I gotta do that. You feel me? And again, I'm gonna need comments. I need y'all to just think, put on your thinking cap, and really see if you could come up with a way around this thing. I don't want my people living paycheck to paycheck. Ain't shit I could do about it for you physically, but what can we think of some things to get us out of that? Can we get out of debt? Can we get out of bad money choices? Bad financial decisions. And, everybody cares. Everybody has an ego and pride thing. So it's like, who determines if we are making bad financial decisions? Who could tell us that? Somebody who's rich? Isn't that insulting? Yo, you rich. How the fuck you want to tell me anything? Or somebody who's broker than you. Like, you ain't got a dollar neither. So who do you want to hear it from? You don't want to hear it from anybody, really. But you should get on your own ass about this. This shouldn't be something influenced by anyone. Because you know what? It may be the worst thing. If you're listening to influence, it may never get you right. You got to tell yourself that. It ain't nobody's business. People could make that assumption based on what they see you doing, how you moving, but you ain't really got to, break that down and sit and chat with anybody about that, except for who you with, your companion, your partner. You know what I'm saying? And that may be enough to stress. That's why my whole thing about this is don't stress, because if you got a solid partner, y'all going to get through. It may not be next week, and it may not be pretty, and you may not, just shoot up a mill. You know what I'm saying? You may not go a mill over. Like, if you are 50,000 debt, you're not going to shoot up to 200,000 in the green just like that. But, you know what I'm saying? Y'all work it out how y'all work it out, man. Life is short. Again, I could address that in so many ways and so many topics and so many podcasts. But we know that. So, the balance of knowing when to give a fuck and when not to is the big thing. You know what I mean? You want to get your finances as in order as you can while you're here, especially when you have kids, so you can leave them something, I guess. But some people never figure it out. This is not a flaw. Life strong arms us into this. It's not a flaw as a person for me. I'm not judging you on how you handle your finances. Solely. Some people are a little, let keep it real, hush. Some people are beyond reckless where you're like, nah, you're wilding. You know what I'm saying? You are out of line. There's some people who really do need a slap, a pinch, a wake up, a shake. Like, you are bugging. But still, Sometimes we're forced, man. The pressures of life, the pressures of survival, especially where you at. I hate to get on New York so much. That's my home base. I'll never forget what New York has done for me. I'll never not rep Brooklyn, but that shit is pressure, bro. It's pressure to survive. It's pressure to eat. You know what I mean? If I've never reached anybody on none of these segments, on none of these pods, you got to feel me on this one. You know, I'm going to be extra sharing with this one. You know what I'm saying? And asking for feedback a little more aggressively. You got to feel me. It is rough. You know, people make it look easy, but it ain't easy. And some real authentic, genuine people should sit and say that, you know, even if you don't do podcasts, even if you don't do a live, even if you're not a people person, you don't think, yo, that story could help somebody. I don't got one because I'm still figuring shit out. And I don't feel like getting into every little shit of mine because I don't feel like that's going to help right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody makes their own decisions based on whatever they feel like is important or not. And I think you can get somewhere if you're open-minded to it, if you're willing to adjust and change, eliminate some things. I mean, I could give the little few pointers like, okay, sit down, grab your little notepad, or you want to use a memo pad on your phone and say, all right, this is what I do in a pay period. If you can even track that. Because some people move so crazy that you can't even track the dollar you spent yesterday. I mean, that's life sometimes. It's not even being funny. Like, you can't really track that. You know, there's these apps and these programs you could go and get financial help on or hire a financial advisor and all that. Don't that take money? I'm not knocking that. Shout out to everybody who does that. But if a person is in a bad financial situation to spend money to get help, how bad in the financial situation are they? Because they're like, I'm not spending that. And it don't even got to be a crazy dollar amount. I'm just saying, take a pen, pad, use your phone, try to see what you're spending money on per pay cycle. I'm not talking about for the year. I'm not talking about for the month. However you get paid, and this is dope if you didn't get paid yet because you can start fresh. If you're getting paid this week, take that check, do what I said at first, rent or mortgage, handle that first. Kids, no kids, food should be damn near second. Start the breakdown. See what you're left with. It's difficult because some people are left with, you know, these advisors. Excuse me. Let's say you left with $300 for 2 weeks. They expect you to save $150 of that, or it's $50 of that. Fine, that might be good advice. That might be effective for some. But there's some people that if they got $300 left to their name, after they handle their bills, rent, /food, whatever, that's the important shit that they supposed to. That $300, you can't save shit from that. Let's keep it a stack. You can't save shit. What, you gonna tell me save $1, put $5 to the side, that adds up? It does. Everybody's situation is different, unless you're gonna sit the whole world down. So don't sit here, judge, and say, damn, a motherfucker can't save $5 from his check. There's people that can't. It's situations where I believe it, that a motherfucker can't save $1, can't save $5. I'm not even getting into child support and other kind of garnishes and shit that happened to them. That's the shit that you might want to judge and say that they put themselves in that, whatever. But whether they put themselves in that situation or not, this is what it is, and they can't save nothing. Right now, they can't save nothing. When they get paid, they handle what they're supposed to. Whatever they have left is not going to make it to the next check. My purpose here is just to tell you, don't stress it. And again, just see if you can make attempts at adjusting. You know, if the last time when you was about to get paid, you had 89 cents and now you got $3, you heading in the right direction. I respect that little bit of a growth. People might look at me like I'm crazy because what the hell you gonna do with 89 cents? But you wasn't on E. You wasn't at 0. So that's what I'm saying. Don't stress it right now. And don't overthink the stress to let it become stress because you're overthinking it. How can I save it? How can I save? How can I not live paycheck to paycheck? You can't. It doesn't happen that way. And everybody's situation different. So don't look at other motherfuckers and let that bring you down more because you see people making it. Because a lot of people faking it. They ain't making it. Worry about your nest. Your shit. So try to just have a little more strength in that. You know what I'm saying? That's the overall message here. I probably didn't really get a solid solution for everyone, and I apologize. I just want your brain to start working, and maybe you could just get it on your own because you listen to this. Possibly. But I'm not stressing shit that I can't control. And I know that can't be changed in this moment. We just work and see what we can change, what can be altered. Because if you take emotions out, if you take stress out and influence out, and use your own brain, make your own decisions and shit, even if you're not the best at something, it's still a little more comfortable because you chose to do it and you're telling yourself it. You didn't get pushed in that direction. Some people need a push, but you can't always look for a push because don't nobody owe you a push. Push yourself. Push yourself. Even as I sit here and I talk this shit, I'm talking that shit. It's pushing me right now. That when I get off of here, I'm gonna go and say, yeah, how do I spend when I get paid? What can I eliminate? It could be so many variables. There's so many examples. How often you get your hair cut? How much the haircut costs? How often you have your leisure? How often you drink? Do you smoke cigarettes? How often do you spend, how often do you do these things that you have to spend money on it? Cut it down. Some people try to say go cold turkey off the rip. If you got to drink, listen, you got 2 days off, you want to drink those 2 days, I'm not judging you. Is it that you could, it's not healthy or that's why your money, whatever. But there's a way to alter it in some type of way. And I'm not even going to get into the dynamics of, if you drink, you better drink the top-notch shit because drinking the cheap shit is, whatever. You do what you do. Then for the month, go, all right, I'm going to buy a bottle of XO. I'm going to buy a bottle of this Top Shelf, whatever. And say that got to last. That's just an example. It's not the most healthy way. Like, a lot of people may turn their face on drinking, whatever. Again, what did I fucking say? That this is not influenced by anyone else. This is what you do, you take, and you do. I'm no judge right here. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody, again, act like they making it, but they faking it. Just because they got a couple of dollars or look like they got they little, they post their cribs and what. Yo, everybody struggles in some type of way. There's no perfect shit in that. You know what I'm saying? People might just be better off than others, but there's still some managing they need to do. People with a lot of money gotta manage more than us middle class people, because you trying to stay there. So don't get it twisted. It ain't easy, because the more money, the more problems, like Biggie say. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Bed-Stuy all fucking day. But you just gotta take your time. Trust in your confidence of believing in yourself. And just take it a day at a time. Really try to jot down what you're doing. You may have to continue doing purposely. I would even say eat that, bite that bullet and purposely continue what you're doing right now, even if it's not working and you still paycheck to paycheck. But just jot it down. Have evidence. Have examples of why. And, you go through that a paycheck or two and then say, I really can see how I can change this. Because it may not come to you right away. And that's fine. That's what I'm saying. This overnight shit, microwave shit is not the wave. You gotta move at your pace. Again, I hope I've reached someone. I hope that you can take something from here. But it's gonna take work of your own to really get the answers you need. Honestly. And just, again, biggest message. Do not stress what you can't control, especially in the moment. Or don't let shit stress you to the max. It's not a carefree thing to just be reckless and not give a fuck about anything. I'm just saying, it gets overwhelming when you try to take on everything or when you really can't do shit. Listen, if something is needed, it's $20, I'm going to be low. If it's $20 and you got $17, either you're not getting it or go find a way to get that $3. You don't sit there for a day, a full day, full 2 days, like, how am I going to get... You got to alter a decision, have a plan B. Go around that shit somehow. It's easier said than done, and by no means I'm thinking it's going to have immediate results in your favor. I'm just saying, let's keep the stress down. Test yourself to the max by controlling the stress levels and just think, jot down info on your moves. Can't nobody tell you how you move. Nobody can help you unless you help yourself. So it starts with you in these few steps of doing things and judging how you move to yourself, not to be discussed with anybody. You see how you are and see if there's any altering you can do. Then you may not ever need anybody anyway, but you need to at least analyze that to get help. And that's where you'll start to lose your own confidence. Because it's like, if you don't do this prior to attempt, let's say you go to a financial advisor, you go there with scratch nothing, and then they telling you how to gather shit and what to do. Now you really feel brainwashed, like, you really couldn't come up with nothing on your own. That's what I'm saying. I'm not totally against advisors or whatever type of help is out there that think they can help you. You still got to jot down your flaws and your pluses if there's any. There's some things you're just going to always have to spend bread on. And there's some things that you can eliminate. You do this for you first, and I promise you may not even need nobody. And results will show. Just tackle it head on. Go at it head on. Stay consistent with it. And just monitor what you're doing to yourself. You'd be like, wow, Hush, that was real. I didn't even notice that I spend $20 every Thursday. Whatever it is. And just keep notes of that. And then try to do something about it after a few weeks of noticing this. It can be done by you. You don't need nobody. I just want you to eliminate the stress. Because stress, emotions, shit like that is distracting for any type of goals. For any type of change in the positive direction. So just hold on to that. Feel me. Rewatch this. See what you could grab from it. And until the next time, I hope you remain safe. And know that I'm here for you. Holla.